Hello and welcome to Beyond the Headlines, where we connect you to the community through the Journal Tribune. I'm your host, Justin Chenette. We have a lot of guests today. I'm super excited. We braved the Mother Nature's elements, especially with the snow and the rain today, to be here. So I'm so excited to introduce. We have Stacy Cote, we have Nate Colson, and Ariana, who are guests here from the Cote Funeral Home. So pretty awesome. Now, Ariana, I have to start with you because I love your sweater.
Okay.
You are training to become a black belt, correct?
Yes.
So what is that experience like?
Well, it's really fun, but it's also challenging because you have to remember forms, and then once you receive your black belt, you have to remember all of the forms that rank up to the black belt.
That sounds difficult to me. I don't know if I could do that. But it seems like you're really training for what is a bigger role for you, which is being Catwoman, I hear, which is really exciting. We want to show everybody what you guys are. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how this came about.
Well, we saw a guy, and he actually died in a car crash, and my dad saw that he was going to hospitals as Batman, and so he started this, and then I was Catwoman and I liked the character, so then we just started going to hospitals, and it was something that made us feel good. So
who do you visit at the hospital when you're dressed up?
Well, kids that are sick and that they need some care and they need help, and they have diseases, and we just try to make them feel good.
And how does that make you feel to be able to get to do that?
Really heartwarming. It makes me just really feel good. So yeah.
I bet your peers at your school really like that you're doing that.
Yeah. Everybody knows about it. So
Stacy, what's that like for you to be able to do that with your daughter?
It's probably one of the best things we can do together. You know, having two children, Ariana and my son Anakin, and he's 6, just turned 6. So it just feels it's a good way to give back to some other kids who have a lot on their mind. So, you know, when we go to work every day, and obviously everybody has a lot on their mind, there are people that have, you know, having more challenges than we are. So it's a way for us to kind of just bond together, and, you know, other than her taekwondo and all her sports, this is a way to kind of do things with other children that we can receive a smile. So
now, is Anakin going to be the 3rd member of this team and be Robin? I'm just saying, it could be possible.
If we can settle them down, maybe.
Okay. Robin is very feisty.
He does want to be involved, because we just did the holiday parade where we saw you and Socko's holiday parade of lights, and
which was really fun. That was really fun.
It was a great community turnout.
Yes.
I mean, I was amazed at all the people, and
50 floats. It was huge.
a blast.
Yeah.
The only thing, I wish it was longer.
Right.
It was so fun. But yeah, he was involved with that. We had to kind of keep him in the truck because, you know, so many people. But yeah, he enjoyed it. He really did.
That's great.
He had his window down, and he had his Batman costume on, and he wanted to be in all the photos with all the kids, and he enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's
so
great.
It's sort of like a family thing.
Well, you're really inspiring a lot of you know, good community togetherness, if that's a word. I mean, it's just really nice to see that positivity,
Thank you.
You know, in the community. I mean, I think you had mentioned when we were off camera that you guys were on a radio show, and they had mentioned something about the negativity and the fact it was nice to see something that was good in the world.
Yeah, it was nice to hear that when they told us. It was nice to hear something that some people are actually doing some positive rather than only hearing the negative. So that kind of hit home.
Yeah.
It made me feel like we were doing something, I don't know, worthwhile. We know it's good, but it's nice to hear it.
Right. Yeah. How often do you guys go out to the local hospital?
As often as we can.
Yeah.
At this point, we also did the New England rehabilitation. We saw over 70 patients in about 70 different, well, maybe there were 35 rooms, but two per room. We spent time doing that. I'm going to be going back to the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital in January.
Fantastic.
We try to do everything we can. Nate has a few connections, his family and United Way. So we're trying to reach out. Rotary we've touched base with, but anything if we can do children related, But also adults. The adults, I think, really enjoyed it too.
I bet.
So,
Hey,
so
I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I looked for you on the parade.
I'm going to have to dress up as a different character, maybe Flash or something. I'm
There
just
we
saying
go.
with the hair, it would
Yeah,
make sense.
yeah.
But,
Perfect.
well, so this sort of really ties in really well with what I would really deem as sort of like the theme or the mission of the funeral home in a way, where it seems like you guys are really community focused.
We try to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Try to do as much as we can. Since we've been there for a while, I think.
And how long has the funeral home
I was
been
just, we struggle with that, don't we, Nate? 1927 is the dates that I could pretty much figure out.
So a
the
long
best.
time.
It's been a while.
Well, it's kind of interesting to me because when you study funeral director history, funeral directing in this country started with furniture stores.
Furniture stores?
Yeah, because they made the caskets and then they kind of, because nobody else seemed to want to do it or whatever, were the people who got the bodies prepared. No, not embalming, but got them laid out in the home. Well, Cote Funeral Home goes back to FX Cote Furniture Store. So it's one of the few that actually
Washington
still
Street.
have that connection, which to me
Wow.
I think is really cool.
That is a neat connect. You wouldn't normally associate that, so
Right.
that's
Yeah,
really neat.
And we still have some of the old memorabilia. I say memorabilia. It's funeral home. I call it memorabilia because it's old.
Right.
Yeah.
Furnishings that we actually took to the home. So I've seen they have the carpet, the candles, and as Nate mentioned, in the furniture store, you were able to transport furniture. So you transported that equipment to the house where people who've passed away actually lay and stayed at the house.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Again, I only know, like he said, funeral history and then my family history and hearing the stories, but we still have that.
So in terms of the family, I mean, does everybody get involved with the business, or how does that work?
My mom helped my dad quite a bit, but now we have a pretty good staff with two good funeral directors, Jeff Dobson and Nate Colson, and of course Brian, my dad, and we all just kind of work together and keep it. No, it's kind of confidential and private, but that's the group, yeah.
Right.
And the children are around, so they do see what we do because it's a 7-day-a-week position.
I
So
bet. Yeah.
they do see it, so they're able to get an idea of what we do, and who knows.
Right.
Who knows what they'll decide to do?
And everybody knows Brian.
Yes, absolutely.
Your dad.
Yeah, we were hoping he was going to make it here today, but he was out of town, which he doesn't leave too often, but he left for a few days.
He
So.
deserves some rest periodically.
Periodically, yes.
Periodically, yeah.
We actually miss him, huh?
Yeah.
So, yes.
So I'm curious, and this is to both of you, I think, obviously part of it was a family component, but in terms of going into being a funeral director in the funeral home business, I mean, that's not something I had ever thought to do when I was younger. So I'm just sort of curious, what sparked your interest in something that on the surface might seem like a little dreary or a little difficult to go into?
Well, my father was a minister, so I kind of was around funerals and stuff like that more than maybe other people. And then I actually pastored full-time for about 10 years. And so, you do weddings and funerals and all the other things that you do in church life. One of the things, though, is I just found funerals very worthwhile. People, you really are helping people through some really difficult, I mean, weddings are fun, but the funerals are just where people are really going through some really tough times. And so I actually enjoyed doing funerals, not in the, eerie sense, but, you just feel really fulfilled when you're doing that. And then I just sort of left doing it full-time for a while and started doing attendant work, which developed into an apprenticeship. And so, yeah, I guess it was just kind of a natural. I pastor part-time as well, but it's a good connection between the two of them.
Great.
Yeah.
And Stacy, for you?
Yeah, well, I had another position. I worked for a head injury company in Massachusetts, so I dealt with people that were brain injured. Not necessarily, I mean, from the community coma level to community reentry. So it was a wide range of whether you were born with a neurological problem or you had an accident and then you couldn't function, to different levels. So I did that, and then, you know, did that till I was probably about 26. And then my father, I don't know, just kind of, we talked a little bit about what we were doing and how his business was growing, and just sort of came along. And I was a healthcare administration major at Stonehill College, so that was, always had interest in healthcare. And I think it sort of ties together with the funeral business because it is healthcare, our charity that we do, whether it's exercise, taekwondo, working out, training, different sports. It's sort of all healthcare related. And I don't know, just kind of formulated back to this community from Massachusetts, and happy I'm here, and it's a great place to raise a family, as you can see with the community and the support. And hey, it's a pretty good path.
That sounds
Maybe
great.
I got lucky.
I don't know if genetics works towards that in his case.
Right, it's kind of in the blood a little bit too. That's always helpful. Now, Ariana, do you have any idea what you might want to do?
Well, I might work at the funeral home. Like I think I might want to carry it on and
Well, but you know, I never asked her, so.
Well, you have a lot of time to figure it out.
I've never really thought about that.
Oh, you opened up something today, Justin.
Oh no, a thought bubble.
I had to treat her well. She might be my boss someday.
All right. Uh-oh.
No,
We're sparking that neuron there.
It's just not Anakin.
Oh yeah.
Which is a great name for a son, by the way. I keep like having a Star Wars reference. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We had an A name for Ariana, and we wanted something different. So,
That's unique. You don't hear about that.
No,
Even Ariana's kind of a unique
Yeah.
name, like Ariana Grande. So,
Yeah.
so you guys have a new initiative that you guys have done in terms of building something new on your property, a new chapel,
Yes.
which is very exciting. How did this idea come about in terms of adding this component?
Well, we've been thinking about this for a while, at least 5 years. We just wanted to get to a point where, you know, we felt our volume was enough to, you know, for a cause. But what we found is most of the reason why we did this is because we've been very fortunate that even our bigger families have always come to us, even though we're a medium-sized funeral home. It could have been busy, a little tight sometimes, and people were always supportive of us. So what we wanted to do was create this opportunity for our bigger families, and of course new families and everybody else, to have a nice area to have visiting or funerals or visiting hours. So now we found it's not as tight.
That's great.
And people seem to be receptive, because if you want a new room, we have the new room. And if you still want our medium-sized room that we had before, which a lot of families still request, we are able to have both. So it's kind of nice. We didn't change over to something, you know, sometimes people don't like change. We all kind of go along with that. But so we're fortunate that we can offer both.
And how long did it take to construct the new chapel?
Yeah.
A year.
A year. Next month, Brian had an apartment building next door that he had for years, so the apartment building came down. That was quite a thing to watch all the demolition of that. Started the beginning of January, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were thinking about it, and that was right around, I think so. The building might have came down in March.
Yeah.
And but everything was getting organized, like Nate said, in January. Building came down in March.
Oh, was it March? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they tore it down, I believe, in March.
It was.
Second week of March or third?
It was.
Second week.
Yep.
And then from there, building was down, and I think it was picked up within 2 days. And then it went pretty fast. We had some good people doing some good work, and it's really turned out well.
And definitely a shout out to the local carpenters and painters and
the people that
contractors.
It takes a crew.
And they were incredible. Incredible.
We had all local people do it. They were fantastic. I very, very fortunate.
A lot of crown molding, and I know the Finnish carpenters
Yeah.
spent a lot of time doing that.
And you have a dedication ceremony set coming up.
Yeah, Nate is the one who kind of handled everything with that. We talked about that. He has a lot of experience with that from where he worked in the past, and he pretty much put it together for us.
Yeah. So it'll be, and we also want to honor the families we've served this year as well. So we thought about maybe doing it in the fall, but then we thought just doing it maybe together, because, you know, as we start a new chapter in our history, nearly 100-year history, we also want to remember and honor, you know, those we've served in the past. And we just sort of limited it to this past year, but we're going to have a personal tribute to every family we've served this year. So there'll be that, as well as a dedication service, ecumenical. So we're going to have Catholic priest. I'm going to represent the Protestants, I guess, on the other side, and we'll have that, as well as we have some musical guests coming, which I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, Kelly Muse and Susie Pepper. That's a great name, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
And yeah, so she, I'd worked with her before. She sang for the Portland Peninsula group, St. Peter's and Cathedral. She's a very good singer, former Miss Maine, and has done. Now she has a little group. So I called her about coming to participate for our services, and she's going to do that. And really special number at the end. I don't want to give it away. But
it's a secret.
Yeah, but it's going to be
I don't
really.
know about it.
So
that's good.
Yeah, it's a really powerful. She's going to have a really powerful number at the end. So looking forward.
And so
to
when is this taking place?
17th or 18th?
18th.
Is it the 18th?
It's a pop quiz today. It's a pop quiz.
This Sunday, right?
Sunday
This
the
Sunday coming
18th.
up, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
at what time?
December 18th. Well, I think 2 to 4.
2 to
but
4, yeah.
2 o'clock it's going to start.
We'll have the service at 2, but we want to also have an open house type of, so we're going to be there.
Check out the new chapel.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that sounds
And you know
wonderful.
you're welcome.
Okay.
Right.
And that special performance, so everybody just watch out. That's going to be fun.
And cookies and hot chocolate.
Yeah, something different. That was
Can't beat that.
no,
Yeah.
very good. That was a very good idea. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Who doesn't love hot chocolate?
Right.
That's wonderful. So, so this is sort of like a generic question, but a lot of times around the holidays, people like to reflect on what's happened this past year. And obviously, every year there's, you know, our own set of challenges that we have to overcome as individuals and as a community, and as a country, as a world. What would be, you know, your message to kind of wrap up 2016 as we head into a new year, in terms of maybe the families that you've served this last year and the people that we've lost along the way? What would be your message to kind of bring us into the new year in a positive way?
Mine would be just make the most of life, you know. Don't wait for the future to do those things you want to do. The sad thing we see in this business sometimes is people just, you know, they're waiting, they're going to retire, they're going to have a good time, and then unfortunately they die just after they retire, just before they retire. And you know, if you don't love the job you're doing, get a different job. At least you can enjoy doing what you do, which I do. I would very much enjoy what I do. I mean, I think every part of life has to be something you enjoy, because you know you only get one chance. And of course, some believe in the hereafter and the joy of that, but definitely make the most of this life and the future. This next year, we've got opportunities, and take the most.
That's so important. That's so important. That's great. Are you excited for Christmas? And Christmas break? I'm sure that'll be
Yes.
fun. Great. All right, so we have an event, so it's December 18th
December 18th,
from 2 to 4 at
Yes.
Cote Funeral Home in Saco.
87 James Street, Saco.
There we go. Musical performances, all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going to be looking, hopefully, for you guys dressed up as Batman and Catwoman. I want to call you Batgirl, but it's not. It's Catwoman. You got to remember that. So I just want to hold this up one more time, because this is super cool. And if you want to check out pictures of this, is this on your Facebook page?
Yes, it is. Thank you for mentioning that. It's Batman for Life.
Batman
And
for Life.
Batman
Okay.
for Life. We just kind of have we don't post a lot, but what we do, we just try to put a few things up for people to kind of find us and
Right.
see what we're doing in some of the events. A lot of it's confidential, but you know, we do get a few photos out there every once in a while, and just to let people know what we're doing, and we're very happy to be asked to do it. So
That's
we're
wonderful.
very thankful.
Well, hopefully this will inspire other people to, in their own way, help others. You know, it could be the simple thing as opening the door for someone at the post office or letting somebody in on traffic-wise or whatever it may be, but just brightening up someone's day, it could really change their whole outlook. It really could. So.
That's my message for 2017.
Okay, there we go.
Help others.
Those random acts of kindness
Yeah,
brought to you by... No, okay. Batman for life. It's a new PSA that we're developing now. So this is good. So Batman for life, I'm going to check out that Facebook page because I want to see all these pics. These are so cool, by the way. I just really love this. So, well, thank you guys so much for braving all the elements to get here today. Ariana, thank you for joining us, and keep up the great work with this program. It's really worthwhile. So, and thank you guys
Thank
so
you,
much.
Justin.
Thank you, Stacey.
You keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that.
And thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, where we connect you to the community through the Journal Tribune. I've been your host, Justin Chenette. Stay tuned and stay connected.